boys, I thought I'd quickly pick up the camera and sort of show you the mindset and sort of dedicating everything to winning, sort of the title of this video, because I was just thinking back on a time when I spoke to my family. I'll go into the conversation and sort of what it looked like for me. But something that it really, I was thinking, if I didn't have this mindset, if I didn't have this behind me, I would have never made anything. I would have never made it in general. Technically, I'm out here in Dubai right now. It's amazing. We're sort of in this very high-rise apartment, really nice. And thinking back to this conversation is the whole reason why I was here. I was thinking back to it, and it's just crazy the mindset you need behind. People don't really dive into mindset and what you need to think, what you need to believe, but it's literally everything. So let me take you and sort of dive you into what the scenario looks like and how this all came about. So imagine I'm 16, probably going on 17 at this point. I'm in college. I'm skipping most of my days. I'm just not going in. I hate every single second of it. It's just not something that I want to do. And I remember sitting there. I was at my dining room table. It was my mum. It's my stepdad. And I think that was it. And I was sitting there, and I was trying to explain to them that I'm not going to work this 9 to 5 thing. I don't want to go down this road. At that current time, I was looking into any type of business. So at that point, it was real estate, which now just makes no sense for me. How could I ever get into it with no money down? There was a few ways I was thinking, but it would have probably never worked. So I was sitting there trying to explain to them, like, look, this is my strategy. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to run the business. And they were sort of not hating on it, but they just didn't really understand it, which is totally fair enough. If you try and like tell most people what you're going to do, yet you haven't done anything. I was still that guy that was sitting in his room playing his video games, but saying, yeah, I'm going to be a really big entrepreneur. Like, it was never going to happen. But I remember I went back up to my room and I sort of sat there. I was like, oh, they're hating on me. They're doing whatever, right? And I was sitting there and I was thinking, I would probably, and this is extreme, right? And this is what I think most people should have the mindset. I was like, what's worse? Is it worse for me to live a 9 to 5 that I hate, a job that I hate, something I really don't like? I've always been sort of quite an extreme person, but like, I would rather probably not be here than do that, right? Because I was just thinking about it and I was sort of thinking, okay, so I wake up at a time I don't want to wake up, at a horrible time. So I wake up, I take the commute into work, which again, wasting money, wasting time around people I probably don't like, just not something that I want to do. Going into a job, again, that I hate, I'm not really happy with. Then I'm taking that emotion, I'm bringing it home to sort of my family, which again, I can't really provide for my children because if I'm on a 9 to 5 type of wage, it's very hard to provide for the people that I love. So again, I'm more angry about that. I've given them probably a worse life than if I wasn't there with them. Again, obviously my wife probably could have found something better. I'm just not doing the best, right? My mum still has to work a job. My grandparents, whatever it is, my family still has to live a life in fear of bills and stuff like that. It's like, why would I do that, right? I'm going to give my life up to help someone else scale their business, help someone else grow as an employee. And it just didn't make sense to me. So I was sitting there, I was like, so I would rather die than work this job. Understood, right? I understood that. That's now in my mind. And I was like, okay, so I need to dedicate my life to winning. And that was literally sort of the turning point. I know some people say like, oh yeah, I have turning points. I don't have turning points, whatever it is. That was like my turning point in business and sort of doing stuff. I cut out everything that wasn't propelling me to where I wanted to be. I still didn't understand the business model. I still didn't understand where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, or anything like that. All I understood was I would rather die than do this. So I might as well dedicate my life that I have now to trying to make it. And if it goes wrong, well, what's the worst that can happen? Because I didn't want to live the life anyway. So that was my two options, my sort of ultimatum that I gave myself. Maybe yours isn't as extreme. Maybe you're like, oh, maybe I'm a little bit okay. But I will probably be speaking to a lot of you out there that are like, yeah, I do agree. I do believe in that, because if you have that option of like, you know what, a 9 to 5 isn't too bad, then are you going to build maybe a million dollar business, right? You're going to make 100K a month? Probably not. You may get to 10, you may get to 20, but is that sustainable? Maybe not again, right? Because you always understand that there's a second option, and you always understand that there's something that you can fall back on. You don't really mind too much. You don't mind going out with your mates on the weekend, something like that. which is totally fine, right? Some people are just like that. I'm personally not, right? I'm either at the extreme top or I'm at the extreme bottom. There's no type of in between with me, because that's just how I live my life. That's just me, right? And a lot of, like I said, a lot of you will agree, a lot of you won't. But that was sort of the turning point to what I did. I from there started reading books. I remember the first book that I read was this sort of mindset book by Kobe Bryant. So that was the first book that I read, sort of my mindset changing from there. From there, I was reading books like Spin Selling, Rich Dad Poor Dad, stuff like that, just really trying to get into, okay, what makes the most sense for me to do? And then, like Luke probably had the same realization, something probably similar, but that's when we started to come together. We started to come with business plans. Obviously, we started like probably at that point, 6, 7 businesses that all failed. So yeah, it was sort of that dedication and again that mindset of like, if that first business would have failed, we lost probably at that time. We didn't have jobs. We're still in college, whatever. We lose £200 on something, right? Would we not just quit? Because your 9 to 5, it's stable, it's easy. If that's what you wanted, if you don't mind it too much, that kind of makes sense for you to go and do. So that sheer determination and dedicating our lives to winning, like we live and breathe this stuff. When we had, let's say, a grand in our bank account, it goes straight into the business, right? And that's why we're here today, is because, again, we take the extremes, we do what needs to be done. Even right now, I think the time's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm filming a video, right? I could be out, I could be doing whatever, but I'm dedicating my life to make sure that I win. So, like I said, a lot of people, hopefully, maybe not hopefully, have the same type of mindset. If you do, more than likely, you're going to win at some point. You just got to stick to it. You just got to keep grinding. If you don't, again, still stick to it, still keep grinding. Maybe really understand what you do want from this life. Maybe it isn't, okay, I want an online business, but maybe you want to impact, maybe you want to change, maybe you want to do something like that. Figure out what it is. Figure out what you want to dedicate your life to, because we're here for a pretty long time, right? I'm 18 years old. I feel like I've been here for a while. Gonna be still here 30, 40, 50, 60. So you need to find something that you want to dedicate your life to, and you're going to do something great by doing that, right? So yeah, I thought I'd just pick up the camera, film this. I said quick, but it's a little bit of a long one. Sort of go back about how I was, sort of me as a person back when I was in my sort of college days, hating my life, to sort of where I am now. Beautiful place in Dubai, and obviously I'm just going to keep growing, keep getting better, keep scaling, and obviously keep going from there and seeing what the art of dedicating your life to something actually does. Where can it take you if you live, breathe, sleep, even in your sleep, thinking about it, can do, okay? But apart from that, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and peace.